Anybody who's been following me for a long period of time knows that one of my big sayings is activity should come first and exercise should be your supplement. So before the intro, let me define what part of that means. My belief is that we should be active. Activity is enjoyable, it's functional, and it focuses on an improvement of a multitude of skills. It's not just about sets, it's not about reps, it's not about calorie burn. It's activity. It has a purpose, okay? So sometimes this activity can be repetitive or unbalanced, which leads to the idea of we need some sort of a correction. We need a supplement. So someone who came to see me is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner, and he spends a lot of time on his bottom game. So when he plays from the bottom, his lumbar spine is in flexion. So for the lay people out there, that basically means that his spine is rounded like this. So he's rounded at his lower back. So for his supplement, because again, I'm not going to tell him, well, don't play from the bottom, play from the top, play from side control, it doesn't matter. You know, he's going to play the game he plays, but I said, well, between rolls or when coach is going over a move or before and after class, let's introduce some lumbar extension. Either you can lay there while coach is demonstrating a technique or going over something in a cobra type position. Let's introduce some lumbar extension. And he didn't need to see me 7, 8, 9 times for this. I didn't have to get insurance authorization and see him, 2 times a week for 8 weeks to fix this. It was just identify the problem, add the supplement he needed, let him go about his way. I saw him one time, talked to his coach after that, and he's like, oh yeah, he's moving so much better, and he's doing this, and he's doing this during class, and he's doing great. Perfect. So his activity is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That activity made this problem, so we add an exercise to supplement. And that's how I go about doing this. Activity first, exercise as a supplement. So we have this problem though. We have this very simple issue that I have to solve. And remember when I said in my teaser trailer that we're going to be hitting the reset button on fitness in the United States. One of the big things I'm going to tell you, and you may not like to hear this, but we need to get out of the gym. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to tell you after the intro. Don't go anywhere. Stop defending mediocrity in our profession. Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining me on the Dr. Krol PT and Fitness Podcast. This is the fitness side of things, being that it is a Tuesday. And as always, I'm your host, Dr. Lee Krol, physical therapist, and I want to get right back into the topic that we were talking about before the intro. So I said activity should come first and exercise should be your supplement, but the main focus, what's going to be on today, is getting out of the gym and the benefits of getting out of the gym and what you should be doing outside of that realm. So a lot of people in the United States, they exercise, whether it's in a gym, large box gym, small gym, or now their home gyms, which are becoming more and more dominant. And don't get me wrong, I think the gym is fine. It's an excellent place to burn calories. It's a good place to meet people, socialize, get some level of metabolic demand, get interested in exercise, or even build an exercise regime or regimen. This is all fine. It's not that it's a bad thing to go to the gym. I just think we need to add something or maybe change the focus on it. So one thing I want to ask everyone who's listening, I want to ask you, why do you exercise? Why do you go to the gym? What is the purpose of it for you? And most people I know go to the gym to get better at exercise. Why are you lifting that? So I can lift it more often. So I can lift a heavier version of it. Well, what does that translate into? What does that make you better at outside the gym? Well, nothing, which leads to the other realm that people use as well. I just come here to look better, or I want to have a goal weight, or I want to have body composition changes, or I want to maintain the body that I have. They don't know why they're doing it for any functional reason, or nor do they care for most part. And unfortunately, a lot of the stuff we do in a large box gym environment doesn't translate to anything useful in the real world. So we may have big arms, but can we defend ourselves or our family if we need to? We may be able to put a lot of weight on the machine and press it, but can we run a mile if we had to? So, we may work out 4 to 6 days a week, but do we avoid pickup sports at family picnics, holidays, with friends or whatever because, my knee's gonna hurt or my shoulder's gonna hurt or my back's gonna hurt? If you're exercising 4 to 6, 7 days a week at a gym, that shouldn't be the case. You should never be afraid to go out and throw the football around. You should never be afraid to go out, get the rollerblades on and skate. You should never be afraid to pick up the sticks and go play hockey or get on a basketball court because, my knees are gonna hurt. If you're exercising 4 to 6 days a week, that really shouldn't be the case. So, we sit on machines and we do presses and we do pushes and pulls and all sorts of other activity on the machines, but unfortunately, there's not much functionality with doing that. When you press weight on a machine or you sit on a leg press and you push, that doesn't really translate to anything else. In fact, most exercise I see at a gym has very little to do with functionality. Before I became a PT, a physical therapist, I worked at a large box gym. And I would spar all the time. I'm no expert fighter by any means, but I practice and I, try to stay somewhat sharp. And it was amazing to me how many people would be much, much bigger than me, could push a lot more weight, but they didn't hit very hard. And they really couldn't even hit me when they tried if I didn't let them. So it was really shocking to them how that everything they were doing in the gym and in the weight room was not translating to anything useful. So if we would have gotten into a fight, it would have been completely one-sided. And that shouldn't happen if you're exercising 4 to 6 days a week. You should be able to defend yourself. You should be able to fight. You should be able to roll. You should be able to run and jump and get up and down from the floor. But one of the things that you see in gyms is that the bodybuilding model still dominates fitness in the United States. And I understand why. It's easy. It's very simple. You break the body down to a bunch of little parts, you isolate against that part, and you lift against it to make it bigger and stronger. So the idea is that if we have a stronger body part here, then it should translate to a stronger pattern or a stronger movement here. And that's generally not the case. So if you want to squat more weight, if you just isolate your quadricep and try to exercise that and make it stronger, it really doesn't translate too much to increasing your squat weight. You have to squat more and you have to get better at your squat pattern and fix the things in your squat pattern that are sabotaging it, not just strengthen the little parts. So, we assume that stronger parts makes for better patterns, and it doesn't. But here's the even worse problem. I don't think most people care. I don't think most people care that, doing more bicep curls is going to make my biceps look better. And that's all they care about. They don't care about, this is going to make me throw something better. This is going to make me run better. This is going to make me jump higher. This is going to make me crawl or get up off the floor easier or get into tight spots and move around. They don't care. They don't care if they can get on the floor and play with their kids. They just say, I'm getting old. I can't do that. Well, that shouldn't be the case, again, if you're working out 4 to 6 days a week. People use isolation all the time to gain mass, often at the expense of function. People often go to classes to exercise and they'll hide in the middle or they'll hide in the back of the class, and as long as they're sweating and working hard and they feel tired or sore the next day, then they didn't care if they sacrificed form the entire time. When I worked at the large box gym, I would see people all the time lunging poorly, squatting poorly in classes. And the instructor can't go around and fix everybody. There's 40 people in the class. You can't stop the class to fix everybody's form. So these people, as long as they were sweating and getting a good workout by their standards, they didn't care. They didn't care if they sacrificed their neuromusculoskeletal health. It didn't matter to them. So people will often use trendy or extreme workouts all the time, right? They're trying a hot new thing. They're going to go do this hot new exercise. And they don't care about their orthopedic health. They don't care about technique. They don't care about getting better at anything else. And to me, that's a real problem. So I don't like to bring up a problem and no solution. So what's my solution to the problem? So for all of you who work out 4 to 6 days a week in a gym, you're charting reps, you're charting sets, you're charting how much weight you're pushing, I want you to do me one favor. I want you to really do me one favor on this. I want you to take just one day. 1 day a week is all I'm asking you to start with. Take that 1 day away from your regimented exercise program and replace it with an activity. What activity do you mean? What are you talking about? Exercise is activity. No, it's not. It's regimented, it's purposeful. That's what exercise is. It's meant for a goal. Activity is functional, it's fun, it's enjoyable. So take 1 day a week, join a martial arts class, join a dance class, go kayaking, paddleboarding, hiking, whatever, outside, any activity outside. Join a bowling league, a volleyball league, a floor, ice, or roller hockey league. Play football 1 day a week. Basketball, pick up basketball. Something else, something other than going on a machine and pushing a weight, getting under a bar and pressing the weight. Do something that is functional, do something that is activity-based. And that's going to give you a real nice barometer as to how effective or ineffective your exercise has been. So again, if you're working out 4 to 6, 7 days a week and you're exhausted or you're really sore or you're really having an issue on a basketball court for 45 minutes, then there's something missing from your exercise. It's not preparing you for what you need to do on a basketball court. If you get on a stand-up paddleboard and you keep falling off, or you can't paddle very hard and you can't keep up with other people who haven't really been doing it for very long, then there is something wrong with your exercise. It did not prep you for regular activity. If you go hiking and your knees and ankles are all jacked up and sore, or you're having difficulty hiking up and down a hill, then your exercise 4 to 6 days a week did not prep you for this. So again, this is a great barometer as to what your exercise is or isn't doing for you. It's also going to illuminate the areas of your exercise that you need to focus on. So if you're doing stand-up paddleboarding and when you paddle one side, you start turning, you paddle the other side, you stay relatively straight. Well, there's an imbalance between the two sides that maybe you need to work on. If you're doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or dance and you find that a certain position is very difficult for you to get into, or a certain position is unable to do, or you can't push up in this certain position when there's pressure on top if you're playing Jiu-Jitsu, then your exercise can focus on that to make you better. And if you can't see the connection, that's okay, you hire a professional. Let's say you join a bowling league. Bowling is all about being able to do the same exact thing over and over and over again with perfect consistency. So if you're a right-handed bowler, your stance leg is going to be on your left when you release the ball. If you find that you're a little off balance and that's throwing off the consistency of the way you're putting down the ball, then maybe your exercise should be to focus on that stance leg. Maybe if you have poor shoulder mobility, you have poor thoracic mobility, then your wind up and your delivery is going to be a little bit off, or it's going to get worse as the 3 games go on. Maybe your exercise should be to focus on that, and then your consistency with the activity will improve. Activity comes first, exercise supplements those activities. So when people hear me say get out of the gym, or they hear me say that, you know, the sets and reps that you're doing in the gym don't often translate to function, they get upset. They think that I hate the gym, and I don't. I don't hate going to the gym. It's certainly better than doing nothing. It's always better than doing nothing. If you're going to be sitting on a couch for 4 hours a week or going to the gym for 4 hours a week, I'd rather you go to the gym for 4 hours a week. I don't hate exercise. But again, let's get the equation right. Why can't we put our neuromusculoskeletal health first? Why can't we put activity and fun and function first? Why can't we make sure that, okay, everything we're doing from an activity standpoint is going to make us healthier, is going to make us move better, is going to make us perform better. And then we can stack everything else on top of it that we want. If you love doing chest presses or you love doing bicep curls, by all means, have at it. But it shouldn't make you move worse. Your movement should not get worse from doing these things. And if it is, you need to find other activities in here to help supplement that, to fix it, okay? You shouldn't feel worse. You shouldn't have a hard time getting up and down in the morning. You shouldn't have a hard time with your health. You should feel good if you're exercising 4 to 6 days a week. Again, why can't we focus on the bottom of the pyramid first? That's all I'm saying when I say get out of the gym. Get out of the gym and make sure we're taking a look every week at the bottom of the pyramid and making sure that it's right. That's all I'm saying with this. I'm not saying you can't go to the gym or gyms should close down or they're complete garbage. It's just, let's focus on activity. Let's make sure we have good function and good form and good health first before we just start stacking a bunch of sets and reps on top of it and whatever activity you want to do or whatever machine you like going on, okay? So again, the side effects of weight loss and body composition changes or maintenance happen, again, as a side effect. Focusing on the bottom first will get you this without switching the equation and focusing on this at the expense, potentially, of everything at the bottom. So we can do this. We can add an activity, but there is a pitfall that I'm going to talk about next time. And I see some people with activity that become addicted to it. So there's a pitfall there that we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about the introduction of an off season and what that really means and how to keep activity from sabotaging the health that's underneath it. So thanks for listening. If you found us on YouTube, I want you to subscribe to the channel. If you've made it to this point, which is about 16 minutes into the video, you should have subscribed by now. You should be a subscriber. Hit that like button. If you found it someplace else, I want you to share it. I want you to like it. I want you to do whatever you have to do to get this word out. I want you to tell your friends about it. I want you to leave some comments. We're going to have comments open in the YouTube channel. I want you to leave comments on there. Let me know what you think. Good, reasonable discussion. Doesn't have to be insulting or anything like that. Leave some discussion down there. Give me some talking points for things you'd like to hear my opinion about in upcoming podcasts. That's what the discussion is there for. This is for getting a little bit of back and forth. I'm here to grow as much as I want you to grow with all of this. So, this is Dr. Lee Krol with the Dr. Krol PT and Fitness Podcast, Fitness Edition. I'm signing off. I'll see you next time. Keep moving. Keep activity first.